Hi guys, I'm Bruno, welcome to my studio. In this tutorial I'll show you how to sketch and paint this female model face using a fine liner with a quick watercolor wash. Let's get right into it. When it comes to sketching people, my first goal is to establish a silhouette of the head so that I can find the chin and the hairline. In this sketch I moved intuitively to draw the hair details, which is a feature in this particular reference photo. Then I moved to the neck and the torso, in order to obtain an overall sense of proportion. Now is time to work on the facial features. Keeping in mind the head landmarks, I've established the points for the eyebrows and the nose nostrils. Once I have the eyebrows in place, I can easily establish the points for the eyes. Usually they are distant by another eye measurement, but this model has a slight bigger gap in between. Next, we can establish the base of the nose, marking the points for the nostrils. Avoid adding too many details here, just hint the side lines and the base line below. With those features in place, we can move down to the mouth. Mark the side points right below the eye pupils. Then draw the top lip line and the bottom line to complete the mouth shape. At this point we have a solid figure with good proportions in place. Now it's just a matter of adding a few details, especially on these curly hair pieces. Just try not to overdo it. That's it for the sketching portion. Let's get to the fun part with the watercolors. I'll start with a very light wash for the overall skin portion. This is a crucial step, so we have to be careful not to ruin the sketch. Keep in mind with watercolors we go from light to dark. This wash is a light mix of burnt sienna and yellow ochre. It is extremely important that we don't allow the borders of this wash to dry until we reach the final extension of the drawing. This is a crucial step to avoid getting those undesired hash borders, also known as watercolor blooms. I forgot to mention, it's important to leave the eyes and the mouth unpainted here. Let it dry completely. Next, we'll move to paint the hair. Here I am using a fairly light wash of burnt umber with a small touch of Payne's gray, just to darken it a little bit. Next, we'll move to the mouth with another light wash mix of Alizarin Crimson and Cadmium Red. For the eyes, a light wash of SAP Green with just a hint of Cadmium Yellow. I decided to change the eye color in order to add more interest to the sketch. Next, we can do the eyebrows, applying the same mix of the hair. We can also apply this color in the shadow areas of the ears. Make sure all the paint is dry before moving forward. We are going to paint the shadowed areas of the skin, so it has to be wet on dry, in order to maintain fine control of the shapes here. For the shadowed areas, I personally like to use a different color instead of just darkening the underlying tone. Here I'm using a mix of Purple Lake and Alizarin Crimson. The human skin is comprised of many different tones, and this technique also increases the level of interest of the sketch. Don't be afraid of applying this wash. It may look a bit weird at first, but it will lighten up after it's dried. Don't forget to use your reference to look for the correct areas of application. This should be applied on every shadowed areas in the whole skin. It may result in some harsh border areas, but this is perfectly fine, as it's how watercolor behaves. Now we'll paint the darker areas of the hair. Notice that I added just a hint of Payne's gray to the existing mix. Be careful here, as this pigment is very strong. We don't want it to be too dark. Try to paint with strokes that follow the natural flow of the hair. Leave some areas unpainted to get a nice texture. Next, we can darken the shadowed areas of the mouth using the same technique. Just add a hint of Payne's gray to the existing mouth mix. Now I am mixing a very light wash of Cadmium Red. We can use this light wash everywhere there is more blood flowing under the skin, such as the cheeks, the nose, and the eyes. Next, I am just working on the shadowed areas of the torso and the neck. Once more, use the reference photo in order to identify the right spots. Here I am just moistening the Cerulean Blue pan directly in my palette. I just need a little bit of pigment in order to paint the dress straps. And just a bit of Payne's gray on the pupils. And the final touch, white gouache for the highlights. And we are pretty much finished with this one. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Also, hit the bell button to receive notification for future tutorials just like this. I see you on the next tutorial, and thank you for watching.